Hi guys, and I wanted to let you know that the card that I pulled for this week, starting on, let's see, the 21st of March, 2023, and this will probably take you maybe through the end of the month. So just to let you know that, and so this is the time frame that we're looking at with this particular animal totem. And so turkey is represents giveaway. It's also considered the giveaway eagle. So when we think of an eagle, the most powerful card in this deck, it is the number one card. And also in native tradition, eagle being such a powerful totem because eagle sits up above the fray. Eagle doesn't get involved in the nonsense. So the turkey is more of a grounded material down here with us version of the eagle. Interestingly enough, that when our founding fathers were looking for which bird to represent us, we ended up with the eagle, but they actually considered the turkey. But the turkey is giveaway, definitely kind of a Pisces card, self-sacrificing, selflessness. Okay, so I want to talk about that because the turkey represents, like, within its death is our living. Okay, and so I want to get into that because when we talk about sacrifice, we get into some religious dogma about that. And in the Piscean age, particularly with the Christ, and that, he gave up and suffered for us. Okay. So we are moving beyond that kind of dogma. However, there is something to be said about sacrifice, selflessness, and not being selfish. Okay, we just spent a lot of time doing inner work. A lot of that inner work was, take care of yourself, only be concerned with what's in your immediate field. And this was important work to do. And if you haven't done it, I would get started now and just see where you're at. No judgments. Some of us have been doing it for a long time. If you've been following me and you've been a member of mine, you've been doing this. And I want to let you know that the idea of the giveaway, the sacrifice, conflicts with everything we have been learning about ourselves, about the narcissist empath relationship. For example, how much did you give away, sacrifice, give away, right? And this other person just got all the benefit of that. It's not really what we're talking about here. We're also need to pay attention to, especially in American culture, getting ahead is he who has the most wins the game. You have the most stuff, the most money, the most hoarding, the most resources. You win the game of earth, okay? And materialism, okay? Nice stuff, you're hanging on to this, you're hoarding stuff, stuff that you don't even need too. And at what soul's cost, okay? So this is more about the soul and how you impact the whole. This is not just a Pisces card. This also has to do a lot with Aquarius. So the good of the whole. So we're going to do a little bit like how did this all happen? And then also there's a respect issue. People that have been carrying a burden energetically have put themselves aside. That would be narcissist empath relationships. I put myself aside for the good of the whole of this family, this setting at work, whatever the setting is, that you're the first one to offer up, okay? So I want you to know that this isn't asking you necessarily to give up things, but this is going to talk deeply about ego strength, and true self-esteem, okay? and true collective consciousness, okay? So if we've been like working on ourselves, I think this is amazing. And when we talk about giveaway and sacrifice, this applies to you wherever you are in the scheme of things. If you've already done a lot of this sacrifice, may not apply to you to do a whole lot of it, but you may be able to take an eagle's, and this is an earthly eagle, a more grounded eagle, their perspective of things. And when we give away, it shouldn't be from a place of guilt, okay? True self-esteem, true ego is that you want to see everybody do well. It's really important to you that the collective does well. And that deep knowing and understanding that if people aren't doing well, this comes back on you. It definitely does. And we know about karma, okay? We already know about that. But just energetically, these shifts of things go too far into other people's places, pockets, areas, right? And then a major shift takes place. What do you think is going to happen? If they ran off with everybody's stuff and they were predatory in that, what do you think is coming? I don't know. I guess we will see. So I'll give you an example. So the giveaway, because we want to put a lot of judgment on sacrifice that comes from religious aspects and our guilt. We have a lot of guilt if we do well, like, oh, I should be sure, like, how dare I do well or whatever. I'm not talking about that. That's a self-worth issue. I'm talking about going beyond that. So I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to try and stay out of too many moral judgments with this. I happen to know a couple. They were in my ex-family, the ex-family that I divorced and came out of. They have no children. Older couple, boomers, of course, okay? And so they have a 3-car garage full of furniture, household goods, and unopened items, brand new. And their house is also packed with everything you can imagine. It's packed to the gills, right? 3-car garage full of stuff. They will be selling that rather than giving it away, okay? So when I talk about turkey and giveaway, right? And it is the giveaway eagle, okay? Which comes from the higher source of what is good for everybody, okay? So I'm just using this. So I'm sure we're all going to make a moral judgment about that. But I'm still going to use this as to give you an example. And so they are going to sell these household goods, furniture, and rather than give them. When we see so many people struggling and intense, and they have 2 jobs and they're living in their car with children and things like this, they're going to choose to sell it rather than give it. And they're already multimillionaires. And they became multimillionaires through the 2008. Through 2008, they were already doing well. Things were going their way. They're older. So they were already established business-wise. And so other people's sorrow and losing everything, they bought it up. They amassed real estate, rentals, which they have raised the price on, like tripled the price on, okay? So these are people that they're predatory. They don't care that other people are suffering. They're like, it's mine, too bad for you. And I know that we've also been kind of trained a little bit that way. I'm trying to keep this straight on the turkey. We've also been trained a little bit that way that, like that it's not my problem, and to be deeply spiritual, this is the way you detach, okay? So I really feel that we are at the bookend of that 2008, and there's a comeuppance. There's a comeuppance. And if you gobbled up everything, the turkey, gobble, 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 right? And amassed real estate and money and everything off of other people's sorrow and thought, it's not my problem. It's your problem now. See, because I happen to know the sentiment about boomers or anyone who just stomped on other people's sorrow. And I, during this time, also had, I'll give you a personal note here. I had an estate sale. I had to close down a store, and they were I watched them lick their lips as they came in to buy everything off of me cheap. It's almost like dancing on someone's grave kind of thing, and thinking that there's no comeuppance. And I actually, while I was in that estate sale, they thought I was one of the estate workers and not the actual owner of the business and all of the content that was in there. And actually, I actually heard someone, as their mouth was watering, and you could see it, and the craze, like blood in the water, shark kind of energy, said, kick them when they're down. Why not? Why not? This was the sentiment in 2008. Did you all not think we were going to pay the price for that? Did you all not think we were? Now, unfortunately, my empaths and people that follow me, you're going to take this to heart and feel like you did something wrong. And I want to point you back to the narcissist empath relationship, okay? So I would say that some of these things don't apply to you. But when I reflect back on this couple that is now going to sell they're going to make more money off of this stuff rather than give it. And they know the state that people are in, and single moms, and I can go on and on and on, right? Where this could be just given. They're not going to give it. They're going to sell it. This is predator behavior. And so I'm waiting because I feel like this comeuppance is coming. And I'm going to take a bird's eye view, like the eagle, knowing that my grounded position of that is Turkey, is the giveaway. So remember, what you do for others, you do for yourself ultimately. What you take from others with no feelings about it, you take from yourself ultimately. And I'm going to watch this play out. I will definitely be keeping an eye on this just for my own sanity. And I know that we don't need outside validation on a lot of these things, but it sure is nice to see the universe at work. So lighten your material load. If you don't need it, detach. This is carbon-based stuff. If you're becoming a crystalline being, you don't need to hang on to carbon-based things and then try and hurt people over that, or a power play with that. So I'm going to watch how people do that. And let this be a lesson. If you'd like to sit at a bird's eye view, call on Eagle. And I am pretty positive that most of you have done plenty of giveaway over the years, whether it's energetically, financially, resources, your body, having babies for someone. It is a giveaway. So this isn't talking to you directly necessarily that it's time for you to give away. But I think we're going to see some people have to make a choice. Are you going to continue to be a predator, or are you going to give away? In Native American tradition, they do a ceremony. It's a giveaway ceremony. And they just give their possessions away. And they are the most honored. They're the most honored because they trust the process of the universe. They trust that I don't need this, but you do, and I will get more. More will come my way. I also want to do a caveat about this. This has nothing to do with people that have worked their butts off, bought themselves a nice car, or finally a home that they were happy with. This doesn't include, if you weren't stomping on others with predatory behavior, you're probably fine. Sit back and watch the show. If you were a predator during this time and you thought it was funny how people were just losing their ass and you hoarded more for yourself. I think this is your comeuppance, and we're just going to start to see the beginning of this. I want to reiterate, this doesn't mean some sort of weird religious thing that you can't have nice things and you work for things and they're yours. I'm talking about unnecessarily holding on to things, going after things when you can see people are suffering. You're going to stomp on other people's backs, it's going to come back to you. So I would like to see how this all plays out. I don't know any more than you this way, except that I'm pretty happy I don't have a lot of carbon-based nonsense attached to me. And anything that I did give away since 2008 and probably my whole life, that I'm going to sit back and watch how the universe deals with this. And you're right. We don't need to have an outside validation, but it sure is nice. And I think I'm going to be watching a bit of that. And I'll probably keep some of that to myself. Just so you know, the idea of giving to the whole is not this weird sacrificing your body, injections, give away all your money, how dare you have money. It is not these moral weirdo constructs, right? But I just gave an example of a 3-car garage full of brand new things, and they're not going to give that. They're not, and they don't need it, right? So do you understand? There's an area here where we've become this mentally ill. That is mental illness, folks. So mentally ill. You don't need the money. You don't even have children. There's nobody to even leave it to. It's just a game to you to see how much you can amass, how much you can be a predator to other people. And I'm going to sit as the eagle and the giveaway, the eagle turkey, right? Because they're similar. One is more grounded here down with us. One transcends above us, and see how this all works out. And so I want you to take this message to heart, because we're going to be making a lot of changes as things collapse. And you're going to watch people scramble. And the ones that scramble the most are the ones that were the biggest predators. And I think the people that are uncomfortable, uncertain, and everything, I think you can relax a little bit. I really do. And this is where you start to trust the process. Prior to this, I'm not sure you could just trust the process. All you could do was pull in and protect yourself, and not left a whole lot of choices other than that. And so some of us did that. Some of us did wonderful. Some of us had extraordinary things happen during this time. But I'm telling everybody to take an inventory. Was this off of other people? Did you withhold unnecessarily because you're just greedy? You're just into poverty consciousness? And all you did was trickle that down to our population. You don't think so? Look around you. People that normally would have just gotten a free shelving unit and needed it. That there were 2 little kids just left a bad marriage. You want to charge them money for it? You're already a millionaire? What's wrong with you? Hello? Anybody? So, yeah. And I try to not make these moral judgments, but it's hard not to, because you could completely see the whole picture. And I've been looking at this whole picture for 15 years. And I've been waiting for this shift. We're going to see exactly what this shift entails. If people were not in their heart space, just about amassing carbon-based things, good luck to you, because we're moving to crystalline. We're moving to things that are beyond these little physical doodads, and and tchotchkes and fancy crap that you keep in your garage and then want to charge people for it later. I think it's hilarious, actually. I can laugh now, but I'll tell you, in the middle of it, you weren't laughing. So, okay, you guys, I hope this was helpful. And for those of you on YouTube, you're going to see this, I don't know, probably much later. My members will see this right away. Thanks. Till the next video.